All right. Welcome back to the chat. Welcome back to the channel, man. Tyson Fury, man. Oh, man, this fight with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is coming up pretty soon, February 22nd. I can wait. I get nervous for all these fights, man. Tyson Fury is no joke. It's going to be a good fight with Deontay Wilder. The outcome is not certain, but it should be a good fight, man, and I'm looking forward to it. But in the interim, waiting for it, Tyson Fury says something, man, that I can't say I agree with, actually agree with, but I'm really glad he said it. And he basically said, calls out the WBO for putting that bum Usyk, putting that cruiserweight bum Usyk in the #1 ranking without having fought any real heavyweights. And I think that is an extremely valid point and something I think is important on the heels of Terrence Crawford's explosion at YouTube channels. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You can press that button down there. You can hit and join as a member. Thank you to everybody that joins as a member. Thank you to everybody on the Patreon. And thank you to everybody that supports on the live streams Monday through Friday and OG Boxing Talk at 8 a.m. Sundays with me and my co-hosts. We're just mature boxing, decades-long boxing fans, love the sport of boxing. We give you our opinion about what we think is what happened in the week, big topics that come up in boxing. You know, we just chop it up on Sunday mornings, and I hope that you would come and attend and join in the conversation with us. Also, I want to let's just get to the point, man. Tyson Fury, man, says something I think is 100% on, man, and he pointed it out about the WBO. The WBO wants Tyson Fury, made a comment to Tyson Fury about Tyson Fury, how they hope Tyson Fury would fight one of these guys that were ranked, one of these young fighters that are ranked in the WBO. Don't know who the name is of the guy. Best person to check on that is Mr. Boxing Today 2. Excellent heavyweight boxing, excellent channel on heavyweight boxing. I'm sure he'll know the guy, in detail. And have watched at least a little tape on the guy. I don't know, but I know that Tyson Fury laughed it off and said, hey, maybe I would if you didn't remove me from the #1 contender spot with the WBO and put Alexander Usyk there, who's a cruiserweight bum that has never only had one fight at heavyweight. Now, that is a rule that something that the WBO does that I have always had an issue with. I think that it is fundamentally unfair, and it basically usurps the whole idea of having a ranking system. Okay, I've seen other sanctioning bodies do that as well, where they have a guy that is a lower weight class, and they have never fought in the weight class, but then they're ranked. But they're ranked in a higher weight class by a sanctioning body. I've seen Gervonta, for example, Gervonta Davis, a fighter that I like a lot. I've seen Gervonta Davis ranked in the when he was still at 130 pounds, way before he fought this fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa, ranked at 135 pounds as soon as he said that he might consider going up there. Right now, there's one thing to put him in the rankings, which I'm still kind of funny about, because I think that you should, I guess you put them somewhere in the rankings. Everybody has to be ranked, but to put them in a position where they are immediately the mandatory for a mandatory for the belt in a weight class higher, I think is completely unfair, because they've never done anything in that weight class to actually prove that they deserve to be the top in that weight class. Now, because they were better at the weight class below, I see how there could be a reason to believe that they would perform well, but they actually have not even fought. I believe that they should at least have to have a fight against somebody to be ranked inside the top, and to be ranked inside the top 5. Or definitely before you get to get a mandatory shot, because there are fighters who might have turned pro in that weight division, and they actually had to fight their way up the ranking system, but that particular guy because he did well against people who are not ranked at that weight class by that sanctioning body, because he beat some people that weren't ranked. Now, and you could say, oh, he's a champion in that weight. He's a champion for that organization. Yeah, but he was not a champion, nor was he a participant in that weight class. So I just think that I think it's fundamentally unfair, and no more clear example of that than Alexander Usyk. Because Alexander Usyk, he was the undisputed cruiserweight champion, right? He held all major championship belts at cruiserweight. But he literally is the mandatory and gets the next shot at the heavyweight title without ever having fought a heavyweight. I do believe he was the mandatory before he fought Chaz Witherspoon. And he didn't look that good against Chaz Witherspoon. So what did he actually do that would actually, and I'm not saying what did he actually do at heavyweight for you to believe that he deserved that shot? And just to demonstrate it, maybe a good way to discriminate to demonstrate it is, say somebody wanted to jump a weight class. Okay, so the WBO 175 pound champion was Canelo Alvarez. Okay, against Sergey Kovalev. When he beat Sergey Kovalev. If Canelo Alvarez wanted to go to heavyweight, should Canelo Alvarez be able to be the mandatory for Anthony Joshua because he beat Sergey Kovalev for the 175 pound WBO title? What if he wanted to, because he's a WBO champion, right? What if he wanted to jump a weight class? Do you think that would be fair? Do you think that would be fair to as much crying as people do about Dillian White? Dillian White, who chose not to fight Deontay Wilder, who could have got a voluntary shot of Deontay Wilder, but they keep faking this fake tear fest of about him in the 600 days. Man, shut up, man, D-Ball. But anyway, Dillian D-Ball White, do you think that would be fair to Dillian D-Ball White, right? that Canelo Alvarez gets to jump him? Now, we know Canelo Alvarez is not going to go up to heavyweight to fight Anthony Joshua because he'd get killed. Maybe. Who knows, man? We don't know, man. There's a lot of computer all in the world. Maybe. There's a lot of computer all in the world, man. Maybe he could pull something off, but no, man. I just think that it is fundamentally unfair, man. I think Tyson Fury is spot on with it, man. Now, the funny thing to me is the reason why I thought that this was interesting is because yesterday when Terrence Crawford's friend, I'm sorry, man, I'm not going to edit this out. Yesterday when Terrence Crawford's friend, his newfound spokesman started talking about the sanctioning bodies, and he started talking about how the WBC was not the most prestigious belt, that the WBO is probably the most distinguished belt or reputable belt because it came along the latest and it only has one champion. Now, I don't know, man, if the WBO only has one champion. I'd have to look into that, but they definitely don't have a WBO super. But they do have a system in place where you can become this system that I've described here in place, which is super shady. It is the easiest path to a championship belt that you can have if you move up in weight class, where you literally cut to the front of the line. A guy from a smaller weight class literally cuts ahead of everybody else that's been toiling for years to get a shot, that you get to skip all the way to the front of the line without having done anything. Terrence Crawford is an example of that for the WBO as well. Now, I said this before the Jeff Horn fight, that was unfair to Jeff Horn. Now, Jeff Horn won, and that's why they call the WBO whatever Bob orders, because you can clearly see that was orchestrated by Bob Arum. But matter of fact, the WBO gave Vasily Lomachenko. The WBO is so malleable to Bob Arum that Vasily Lomachenko and Bob Arum could negotiate between each other how quickly Vasily Lomachenko was going to get a shot at the 126 pound, was it a junior featherweight? Junior featherweight. No, was it featherweight? I think it's the featherweight. Yeah, the featherweight. How quickly he's going to get a shot at the featherweight title, the WBO featherweight title, the 126 pound title. Oh, I won it in my first fight. Bob said, oh, the best I can do is get it to you in your second fight. We'll fight one time. You fight one time, then we'll get you a shot in your second fight. Put it in the contract. How can you possibly be a legitimate organization if you can do that? Anyway, you let me know in the comment section what you're thinking. With that, I'm out. Peace.